At Sierra, discover great deals on top brand workout gear, like high-quality walking shoes, which might lead to another discovery.
40,000 steps, baby. Who's on top now, Karen?
You've taken the office step challenge a step too far. Don't worry, though. Sierra also has yoga gear. It might be a good place to find your zen. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our weekly bonus episode, taking place each Sunday here on ORD. I'm Greg Audino, your host and narrator. Thankful to have your listenership once again. So today we are going to be sharing an episode previously aired on our health show. You guessed it, Optimal Health Daily. Krista O'Reilly-Davi-Digui, who we've heard from many times here on ORD2, has some tips on how to get back to basics when you've gotten off track, which is helpful information to all of us regarding any number of scenarios. So let's turn it over to Dr. Neil now and hear this great post as we optimize your life.
When you get off track, get back to basics by Krista O'Reilly-Davi-Digui of alifeinprogress.ca. Maybe you've had a few sleepless nights, or job layoffs all around you are stressing you out, or your work-family rest balance has evaporated into thin air and you find yourself cranky, anxious, or tired out. You're not feeling how you want to, but this isn't the time for a dig deep life overhaul. Instead, get back to basics. Sometimes all we need is to return to a set of tried and true rules that support us in feeling clearer, emotionally calmer, and more energized. But we also need to track these behaviors for a time to pull us back into healthier habits. I'm about to read to you a list of rules I recently jotted out for myself when I felt some anxiety creeping into my life. Consider using it as a jumping off point to create your personalized back to basics health rules. Back to basics self-care list. No work after 7 p.m. From 7 to 9 p.m., I want to be connecting with my family, hearing about their day, giving hugs, and tucking little people into bed. I might help a teenager study or cuddle with my spouse for a few minutes. I dim lights and aim to create a calming environment. But for the most part, the rest of the laundry, emails, or work projects just have to wait. Get ready for bed at 9 p.m. I get into PJs, brush my teeth, warm up my homemade rice bags, take a peek at my menu plan and agenda for the following day, and so on. Sometimes this is when a teen perks up and wants to chat, but when I'm feeling really drained, I know I must be strict about getting myself into bed. Read before bed to calm my brain. I aim to climb into bed at 9:30 p.m. to read easier fiction, nothing too heart-wrenching, and I avoid work-related reading as it gets my brain all fired up. I read by the calming light of my salt lamp and take a few deep breaths and express gratitude for 3 things in my life. This is a time to calm myself and shut off my work brain for the day. Take 15 to 20 minutes, or just 5, morning or evening, to stretch and breathe. These few minutes are to just be and remind myself that I have a right to take up space in the world without being productive. Sometimes I count my breath to stay focused. Sometimes I use a life-affirming mantra like all is well, or I breathe in peace, I breathe out worry. Some people like to use a scripture that aligns with their faith practice, or a favorite quote, short and sweet is best. Move my body 5 times per week. I just show up. If I'm really tired, I might walk slowly or just stretch. I might attend a fitness class or focus on strength training. It doesn't really matter to me. The important thing is that joyful movement helps lower anxiety in my life and supports me immensely in living a strong, purposeful life. I also move around a lot in the day and use a standing desk, but this set-aside time for movement is important to my mental and physical health and well-being. Drink 10 cups of water or non-caffeinated herbal tea each day. I love my morning coffee, but when I am anxious or tired, that old habit of wanting an afternoon shot of caffeine revisits me. This is usually the wrong choice to make. It simply messes with my blood sugar, dehydrates me, and affects my sleep quality. Water with lemon or a cup of tulsi, licorice, or reishi are better choices. Plus, playing with herbs is fun. But the main rule here is to simply get adequate water. Do something nurturing for myself each and every day. I have written about this before, but self-care is essential. On lucky days, this might mean a massage or date night. More often, it might mean taking 15 minutes for dry brushing and a sugar scrub before my shower, or connecting with a sister or friend, or simply plucking my eyebrows. We've got to celebrate the little wins, don't we? When I get off track in life, chances are if I check my agenda, I have fallen off the self-care wagon. Book days off. Working from home, or studying, or being away for weeks at a time, or even being a teacher can lead to work creeping into every day, including family time. This is not healthy. We become less productive, and our health and primary relationships suffer when we do not prioritize sufficient time for rest and play. I pull out my calendar and block out days, at least one each week and various holidays, for rest. Boy, do I struggle with this, but I am learning to tighten the reins. Eat by 10:30 a.m. I have never been an early breakfast eater, but by mid-morning, I am hungry and ready for some warm leftovers. But sometimes I fall into the habit of pushing my breakfast later and later in order to keep working. Not a good idea. Taking time to pause and nourish myself allows me to remain calmer, focused, and energized for the rest of the day. It's also an important act of self-care. Make time for life visioning. A clear signal that I'm in need of life visioning is that I get a little antsy or anxious. Moving forward with our goals or being productive is important, but we can end up living crazy busy but lacking in joy if we are not clear on why we are making certain decisions or spending our time in a certain way. The why is critical. A friend recently shared on social media about how she takes one full day each month to do this work as she supports herself. What a gift of self-care. But at a minimum, I spend a bit of time each week looking over the upcoming week and month and set aside 3 times a year for some deep reflecting, life visioning, and planning. Start where you can. Maybe what you really need is to simply start getting to bed before midnight and drinking more water. I encourage you to do an honest check-in of how you feel right now. And if you know you're off track, perhaps creating your own back-to-basic health rules will be enough to set you back on course. And be sure to track your progress. You just listened to the post titled, When You Get Off Track, Get Back to Basics by Krista O'Reilly-Davi-Digui of alifeinprogress.ca.
Eczema isn't always obvious, but it's real. And so is the relief from Ebglyss. After an initial dosing phase, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin at 16 weeks. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with or without topical corticosteroids. Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Searching for real relief? Ask your doctor about Ebglyss and visit ebglyss.lilly.com or call 1-800-LILY-RX or 1-800-545-5979.
When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
Dr. Neil here for my commentary. I love that the author talks about little wins, celebrating those little wins. This is because what we're learning is when we do one, even if it's a small, tiny thing that's good for us, it creates this momentum. So Krista gave the example of even if she's tired, she'll just show up to her workout. It may not be a tough workout. Her workout may just be walking for 5 minutes, but that's a tiny win. Think about the last time you pushed yourself for that tiny win. Maybe like Krista, you were just too tired, but you know what? You pushed yourself to stand up, do some stretches, or go for a 5-minute walk. How much better did you feel after that little win? Well, we don't just show up, It starts us off on this downward spiral, which usually takes us more work to get out of. But if we perform just one small act of self-care, it can make all the difference and get us back on track because we can celebrate that little win and feel better about ourselves for doing it. All right, that's it from me for today. I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. Thank you as always for listening. I'll be back here tomorrow as usual, so I'll see you there where your optimal life awaits.